Hello friends, welcome to C Sharp Intermediate to Advanced tutorial. Now you are watching part 2 of the subseries C Sharp Custom Performance Counter. In the last video, we learned about the performance counter and performance monitoring tool. So Perfmon is the tool, and we saw how we used that to track a specific performance counter. Now we will talk about the example. So here if you see, this is the performance monitor. We saw that in the last video itself. So you can click this performance monitor tool, then you can delete the already existing counters. Then you can click on the add button. Once you click on the add button, it will show the counter groups, and from that counter group you can pick our custom counter. We are going to add 2 counters. We will name it later. For now, let me call it as counter 1 and counter 2. And we will group this under a certain group name, and for now we will call it as group 1. Last time we saw, right, processor. Under processor group there are a lot of percentage time and other counter parameters. Likewise, the processor is grouped here. Similarly, we will create our own group. For now I am calling it as group 1, but when we go to the, or when we progress with this series, we will name the group. Then here you will be seeing the counters, right? Likewise, we will create 2 counters. So all this is done during the application creation time. Then we will use counter 1, let's call this as A for simplicity reason. Counter 2, register as well as leave will make use of same counter. That means here we will be simply incrementing the counter. We will start the counter with 0, and we will increment the counter whenever user clicks the register, and we will decrement the same counter when user clicks the leave button. And we will use a separate counter for update. So this is a simple desktop application, but you can imagine this with a web application. Say for example, there is a web page. Whenever a new user registers over a period of time, or whenever a user registers, you can increment the counter, and when certain users leaves the account, you can decrement the counter. And whenever somebody purchases something or when they place some order, then you can run a separate counter. Or you can think this way also: whenever a user is inside the site, you can increment the counter, and when user leaves the or closes the we can say when user closes the browser or leaves the site, we can decrement the counter. So the counter will always track you how many users are online. Similarly, in the update button, whenever they make a purchase, then you can record it under a separate counter, right? So this will give you an idea of how one can use the performance counter, but here we will be simply using register and leave button under one counter, and whenever they update, we will increment the separate counter. So that's what we are going to see. So the tasks are creating the group. I mean, already here we specified it. We will create a group, we will create 2 counters, then we will increment the counter 1 when register is clicked, and we will decrement the counter when leave is clicked. Similarly, when user clicks the update button, we will increment the second counter. So we can do all this from our application, and in the demo time we will open the performance monitor tool, and we can click the plus button we will search for our group, and then we can take our custom counter, we can add it here in the graph, then we can see visually how it is or the trend is changing based on the action produced here. So that's what we are going to develop in this sub-series. This will give an idea of how you can create your own performance counters. Okay, here I opened the sample in Visual Studio. I already designed the form and it will be available in the video description. You can also directly open it. So one suggestion is when you are opening your Visual Studio, open it as an administrator. So you can type, pick your Visual Studio from the start menu and choose run as administrator. Here, if you say in our form, we just have a 3 button, a register button, and we named it as BTN register, BTN div, and BTN update. So there is nothing here, it's a simple form. And from next video onwards, we will proceed with the coding part. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.